Hi, been working hard on the Pont language. Haven't had too much time for much of anything else. Um, Stop by my IMDb page. Put a message on the board for me or something, would you? It's like my career is dying while I'm keeping it on hold for this. No, seriously though. Sorry I've been taking so long. Trying to get out what I can as quickly as I can, but there's a lot to be ironed out in the Pont language. For one, it has a lot more verb tenses than your average language. And this is not meant to complicate things or scare people away from it. Yeah, to learn them all would be a bit time consuming. But then again, there are millions of words in the English language, and we don't learn all of them, but we get by in it. The idea with the Pont language is it needs to be able to um, function as a language that can absorb other language as dialects of itself. So it is kind of necessary to have um, what it takes to be able to handle all the different tenses, all the different cases. I am trying to also make sure that everything fits together nicely, which is why I'm not just plain, just releasing it without, double checking everything. Um, Also, want to make sure that in addition to the actual conjugations of, like, say, for example, a verb into a single word, including um, the person and the time, um, that I also want to have helping verbs and things like that to give an alternative way to represent such things. So somebody could speak as they would in English, or they could speak as they would in Spanish, or in Latin, or in Greek, or Chinese, or whatever the case might be, and simply use word uh, structures, or Pont word construction and Pont grammar. The interesting thing about Pont actually is that most of the grammar is actually in the word. It's in the words themselves. So in, as you build a word up, you form the grammar of your sentence, or the vast majority of what you want to say, in the actual word building. Not going to get too much into that right now. Just wanted to, leave a quick message saying, still working on it, and I'll be getting something a little more substantial up on YouTube as soon as I can. And check my Pont page on Facebook if you haven't looked at it. And I do have some information up on there, and I'll be adding some more to that soon as well. Right now, I'm working on the um, the parts of speech. I have primary parts of speech and also secondary parts of speech. These are in addition to the regular suffixes. There are a few parts of speech that are actually infixes, and point infixes are an interesting thing. But at any rate, yeah, and there may seem to be some overlap as well, where I have, for example, something that works as both an infix and as an ending, which goes after the suffixes. Um, I'm also working on the pronouns, which one might think would not take too very long, but then again, Pont is not your average language. It has quite a few pronouns as well, and what I'm trying to do actually is not so much to create the pronouns or to select the pronouns as to pick which ones I want to release out to the public, because there are simply too many of them to just drop them out there. And I actually want the language to get out there and start getting used and evolve somewhat before I put the final release on it, so that it can come out in a better form. Because I would like to, as quickly as possible after I've got it out in its regular form, to basically relinquish my rights over it, so to speak, and leave it in the hands of the people. And once I do that, I've kind of lost the control over it. So it's not to say that that I won't give input if asked to, but I mean, my input will be like anybody else's input. Uh, and at that point when I've released it fully, and right now it's in beta testing phase, so that I still have the ability to go in there and tweak some things myself, and have some say over what happens with it. So really appreciate any feedback anybody could give me so that I can do that to the best of my ability. Thanks.